Hello guys, if you ever decide to compile a list of the world's most dangerous professions, remember to include to this ranking a profession of a Russian politician or a top manager somewhere near Putin's inner circle, because such people usually do not live long, especially when they know a lot and they talk a lot. And actually, the more problems Putin has, the more aggressive he becomes towards such people. And what we observed during these first weeks of January proves that Putin is literally in a huge panic mode, because at least 3 politicians, top managers, mysteriously died. One in Cyprus, the head of Russia's giant Uralkali, and a former deputy head of the Ministry of Labor. And now there are rumors that Kadyrov's heir, his son, got into a car crash in Grozny, as Kadyrov experiences serious health issues and potentially wants to substitute himself with that son. And there are rumors that Putin doesn't see it that way and wants more control over Chechnya, because this is an extremely freedom-loving country that right now is suppressed by the Kremlin because of Kadyrov's betrayal. So let's discuss what is happening among these politicians, top managers, and why it is actually the strongest signal that Putin is losing control. Thumbs up for that. My name is Anna, I'm from Ukraine, I'm in Ukraine, and if you want to see the defeat and demilitarization of Russia, subscribe and share these videos to demonstrate your solidarity with Ukraine. This means a lot. Disappearing, jumping out of the windows, drinking poison tea is nothing new for the Russian politicians, the Russian businessmen. And honestly, if the world was healthy, it would be enough just to look at the number of oppositioners, various politicians that disappeared during Putin's career to decide that he must be tried in The Hague. But the world keeps observing while Putin destroys even his own inner circle. But again, this is not a sign of his strength, this is a sign of his weakness, because more and more protests now happen in very different parts of the Russian Federation, organized by ordinary, usually apolitical Russians who stand against increasing taxes, increasing prices, fear of job loss, not enough money in their regional budgets for the basic needs, including salaries, problems with heating systems, lots of Russians freezing, do not have normal access to food supplies in the far north of Russia, and so on and so forth. So even if this literally frightened, suppressed for generations people started going out on streets, imagine what is happening in the Kremlin or in various institutions that are close to the Russian government. Perhaps they know a lot and they see a lot, and these are not good people. They supported the idea of the special military operation. They invested a lot of their money, a lot of their time in that. But contrary to Putin, they may be more in contact with reality, and they clearly see how he destroys their businesses. And right now, he began the destruction of this project of the Russian Federation itself. So they begin speaking or they begin doing something. Maybe they're looking for some contact with the diplomats in the West, and so on and so forth. And literally during these very first days of January, we observe a lot of mysterious deaths. For example, in Moscow, Alexey Sklyar was found in his own apartment with just open door, and he was perhaps waiting for the police to come and to find him dead. And that was a former deputy head of Russia's Ministry of Labor. No previous reports about any problems with his health or mental state were reported. Another mysterious case happened on Cyprus. A CEO of Russian fertilizer, and when I say it, this sarcastic Anna regime turns off, because like literally when we talk about 1 million 200,000 Russian soldiers sacrificed for the sake of this failed blitzkrieg. The word fertilizer sounds, you can guess. But anyway, CEO of Russian fertilizer Uralkali was found on Cyprus, neutralized maybe by Putin himself. They claim he was trying to climb a cliff but did not manage to do it. Anyway, -1. And now there are a lot of reports about Kadyrov, his state of health. Even though he is a great enemy of Ukraine and did a lot of evil to us, I never speculate about health issues. So there are just reports that he needs an heir and won't be able to rule for a long period of time. And he wants the power to remain in the hands of his family. Because, trust me, there are millions of very dissatisfied Chechen people and they fear the consequences, they fear that justice may be served, so he wants to preserve this control. And right now, as I began collecting the information for this video, I found a lot of reports that just today his elder son, who is not yet 20, but Kadyrov sees him as his heir, and Putin constantly gives him medals, hugs him. That's just so pathetic, so humiliating, similar to Trump receiving that Nobel Peace Prize of Machado. I have no words for that, and I blame both, actually. He shouldn't have begged for it, and she shouldn't have given it. It's just like, that's my personal opinion. But anyway, that son got into a car crash, extremely serious one, according to these reports. And it may be even the special operation from the Kremlin, because I do need to watch some toxic Russian military vloggers, and they report that Putin himself may want a regime change in Chechnya because he needs more control over this region, understanding that it wants to be independent. Chechnya fought really hard to get its freedom in the 90s, and they actually won their first Chechen war and only the second one that was extremely violent, where Russia did all it does, all the war crimes against the civilian population, and only with that bloodshed they managed to gain power and give it to this totally controlled from the Kremlin puppet Kadyrov. So it's actually interesting to observe how Putin turns into this panic mode. He stopped visiting any events, and on Anna Danilchuk channel we have a longer conversation how bothered, irritated and frightened some Russian vloggers are with the fact that Putin is hiding when he experiences these geopolitical losses, failures on the front line, seizures of his ships, and even the largest oil asset in Iraq of Lukoil. So there are a lot of things that they observe as Putin's weakness exposed, and he keeps hiding without any comments left. So even for Christmas, he did not show up in his traditional places and spent that evening in a very nervous atmosphere in a tiny church, military church filled with various generals. By the way, at least -19 generals since the beginning of his failed blitzkrieg. Indeed, a master strategist. Anyway, let me know what are your thoughts about this mysterious things happening, and do you agree that this is a sign of Putin's panic? Be careful with YouTube, he loves it. Loves only gentle comments. Let's respect policies. Follow me on X, Instagram, Blue Sky, Threads, Discord, the links in the description of this video, and in the very first comment I will pin our NAFO campaign, that because of your support, because of your success, and the fact that we managed to achieve our previous goal so quickly, we decided to prolong and get one more NAFO track for the international battalion. So thank you so much for all the support, for buying me coffees, becoming my sponsors and patrons of the channels. Do check our merch shop, the link in the description, for a lot of good products that turn you into the ambassadors of Ukraine. And thank you so much for standing with Ukraine. Slava Ukraini!